this video, I want to give you a few examples of subtracting real numbers. Now, we've done some basic subtraction before, like 7 minus 3. We know that answer is going to be less than the original 7 because we're taking away 3. But what I'd like you to consider is every time you see a subtraction problem, with the exception if it's a positive number subtracted by a positive number, those are pretty easy to solve. But for other problems, I would suggest that you change this subtraction problem into an addition problem. So for instance, if I were to change this to an addition problem, this positive 3 becomes a negative 3. Because we know that when we have a positive number and we're adding to that a negative number, we always take the difference, we subtract. And so we are going to get the same answer. So there's basically a rule that says, you know, and I wrote out numbers here, but with letters, whoops, a little bug here. A minus B is equivalent to A plus the opposite of B. Okay? So, for instance, if we have negative 1 minus 2, I can rewrite this. Notice A is going to stay the same, so negative 1 is written out. I'm going to change this subtraction to addition. And I'm going to take the opposite of the B value. Now this number is really a positive number, so it's going to become a negative 2. Now when we are adding negative numbers, we're combining them, so we get a negative 3. Let's try another one like that. Let's say we have negative 4 minus 4. Again, we want to change this to addition because once you've learned addition and all the different ways to do addition with positive and negative numbers, instead of memorizing the setup for the subtraction problems, just change the problems to addition. So again, we're going to keep the negative 4, change subtraction to addition, and do the opposite of a positive 4, which is a negative 4. These two numbers are negative. We're going to combine them, giving us negative 8. Let's do a couple of different ones. Let's say we have 5 minus a negative 6. Okay, notice we've got lots of, looks like negatives and subtract. And you might have remembered that this would be like an opposite. You could say the opposite of 6. But let's go ahead and just rewrite it using this little formula here. We're going to keep the negative 5. We're going to change subtraction to addition. And we're going to write down the opposite of this value, which will be a positive 6. We have a negative number plus a positive number. In those instances, we always want to subtract, and the sign of the number will take the sign of the larger number, so we have a positive 1. Let's try another like that one. Negative 10 minus negative 5. Again, negative 10 plus 5. Our answer is going to be a negative 5. And let's see if there's any other. Let's do one where the first number is positive, and then we'll subtract a negative. Oops. Okay. So again, we're going to keep the 8, change to addition, and then the negative is a positive. We're going to combine the two positives, we get 14. Anyway, this lesson is just focusing on converting subtraction problems to addition problems because you've already learned how to deal with the different scenarios in addition. So this will just make subtraction a lot easier. Now on the quiz that you will have, or homework, you'll also have to do this setup with decimal numbers as well as fractions.